interested into football, is what I've read, or soccer.
Yeah, I love my football. Used to play to a good level, which always blows everyone's mind because before poker, before poker I was in shape, and I don't think I've been in any good shape at all in my entire poker career. So it's always fun trying to. We've had some fun prop bets over the years, like trying to run, like having races in hotel corridors and stuff like that, where like 4 a.m. in the middle of I think we were at Thunder Valley in California, and you've got all the American jocks, and in my head I can still run fast, but my body's very much disagreeing. So we've got all these like kind of races going up and down the corridor. I remember getting it was actually Ludo again. I was telling him I could even now I could still beat him in a race. We'll do a race around the hotel,
Sounds
and
like a
he's like, I'm
bet.
like, yeah. So we get up here. We've got God, it was such a weird crew as well. I think it was me, Ludo. I think it was Reiner Kempe, Kyle Julius. Just a very eclectic ragtag bunch that had ended up at this WPT stop. And I bet Ludo $500 that I could beat him in a race. We ran down and we go all the way around the grounds, so it was like a 2 mile race, and then back up to the hotel room. And we get down like on our hand, like like the racing start like that, and we go three, two, one, and I stand up and he just sprints off, and the rest of the guys are just kind of looking at me, and then I just get $500 out and give it to KJ's and give that to Ludo when he gets back and go in my room. So I just sent him off on this 2 mile run around the casino for no reason. But yeah, it's like the football stuff I love. Like Scotland's a very big football country, and it's very fanatical. So you'll find me a lot of the times like I've done. I mean, you're talking about like idiot tax and stuff. I've done some incredibly dumb shit, like especially when you're in the middle of a big heater where you think money's just gonna constantly replenish. You're like, well, it's gonna obviously I'm just gonna keep winning every day for the rest of my life. So why should I save any money? So I'd like register. I remember playing a 2K side in Prague, and then I realized I wanted to watch a football game. So I just kept going all in to build up a big stack, and then just left the stack for the day and went and watched the football, and came back to like six big blinds on day two,
Oh
and
wow.
busted or what, just dumb shit like that. But when you're young, and it's like really funny at the time, but looking back, you're like that's probably pretty stupid. But no, it's a big, big thing. I'm really into my football. You'll find me if I have to play poker during a big game, I'll be on my phone watching it and stuff like that. It's very very important cultural aspect of Scotland.
Football. Okay, it's good to know. I didn't know. I guess I knew in the UK it was a good, big cultural thing. Put on a football game.
Oh,
That'll be my strategies. We'll be like, oh guys, you guys pay attention to the football. I'm in Scotland.
yeah, exactly. Well, there's a big game on. There was a big there was a big game on in down at when I was down at the GG UK festival a couple of weeks ago. So it's a 500 main, so it's like it's fun to play stuff, but it's like I could really do with being a bit able to watch this football game. So the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm going to play properly and agree, but I'm also like, I'm not going to be making any hero folds. I'm kind of hoping just to get a massive flip, so I can either have loads of chips or I can go see the game. And I got dealt queens and like 100 bigs deep, and my opponent like tighter guys squeezed me, and in my head I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to get to see the game. This is incredible, and it's not a punt because it's like it's technically okay to get queens in here. And I'm like loving it, and he had kings, and I'm like, oh no, and he's like loving it, and I'm like, oh, good game, man, good game. Right, off to the pub, let's go see the game, you know, which is pretty handy. But yeah, it's a big culture thing. If there's a big game going on, you can target some of the UK guys for sure. They'll have their mind elsewhere.
It's such a funny thing. I mean, I guess I guess as an exploitative population exploit the
Yeah,
game.
exactly. You've country reads. This is a great country. Just check the football schedule. It's a great
Most
country read.
games I'm in the UK. Yeah, never done that one. But I have. Well, I don't really punt when I want to lose. I just like kind of hope that I want get some cool or some bad beat and like play at least mostly serious.
Yeah, I'm
That's
the same. I'm the same. I don't have it in me to pure punt at all, even if it's like some daft tournament I'm in. But I have that. Like I remember playing Scoop in Vancouver, and I had a day two of And but there was still, it was like one of the lower buy-ins, so there was still like 300 people left or something.
Mhm.
And we went out to for a nice meal and we had a lot of drinks the night before. And then I realised that the day two was restarting at 7 a.m. because I late regged it the day before at like 10 when we woke up. So day two is restarting at 7 a.m. My alarm goes off. I'm hungover as shit at like 6:45 a.m. lying in my bed. I just get the laptop up and I'm like, I've got 28 big blinds in this day two, and I'm like, I know I won't punt it, but I'm like, in the first hand I get sevens in against ace king, and I'm just in it. I hit a king, and I woke up my roommate celebrating that I was out, so I could go back to bed. I was like, yes. He's like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, oh, I lost that flip the very first hand. I can go back to bed now. And he's like, oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, it's always nice when you get out when you want to, or the game ends properly when you want to. I want to
Absolutely.
ask about a couple other sort of events. Well, not I don't I guess they don't qualify as idiot taxes. Well, one is an idiot tax, but I have idiot tax. Yeah, idiot fun stuff. Fun stuff. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
One is you had a 15K watch and then lost it at a stripper's party. Is this what happened?
Yeah, so for my like, I'd always wanted a nice watch, and for my first big score, I bought a Jacobs and Co, which was obviously classic, whatever. Got the Jakies on. It was that era. We were loving it, uh, and I loved that watch as well. And yeah, I think it was in some horrific English town as well. It wasn't even like a Vegas stripper. It was like fucking Stoke or some like incredibly grey, horrible, nonsense English town. We ended up back at this, and it sounds like a strippers party. Like you're imagining like the strippers at the Rhino, like it's all glamorous and all this. This is like someone's one bedroom apartment with like a little speaker playing music and everyone far too drunk. Like it's the most depressing scene you've ever got in the world.
Yeah.
And I've somehow left without. I'm not ruling out that it was finessed off me, to be honest. But yeah, and but back then it was this was like when you were still the start of like the heater or whatever, and you felt like money fell on trees or whatever. So like instead of going back to look for it, I just couldn't go back to that place, hungover or sober. So I just wrote it off and just didn't even go and look for it or anything, and just I was like, well, that's a very expensive lesson to not go to a stripper's house in Stoke. And it's a lesson that to this day. I mean,
Good one.
yeah. I mean, I was maybe 8 years ago, so like we'll call it 2K a year, well spent, I would say.
I've had sort of something similar happen, by the way, except it was my own house. Um,
Right. Okay.